When they shout impossible, heaven says already done. Chosen one, you are not here by chance. This very moment is divine timing. You clicked because your spirit recognized the weight of what is about to be spoken. When your own family says impossible, heaven already stamped your destiny with the seal of completed. This message is not casual encouragement. It is a direct call to stand where you once shrank back. If you feel this in your spirit, declare it now by typing 77 in the comments. That's not just numbers, it is a prophetic act, a public statement that you will not miss your appointed breakthrough. Like this video, subscribe so you never miss the next word in season, and if you feel led, support with super thanks, because every seed fuels this message to reach those still doubting their worth. Picture this. A long table where relatives whisper, shaking their heads at your dreams, while above that table, invisible hands are already writing done across the sky. What they call disbelief, God calls destiny. So lean in, stay to the end, because this is not only about blessing, it is about exposure, about proof, about undeniable evidence that your life is marked. Now let's uncover why your family can't see what God is building in you. Why your family can't see it, and why you must. They are not your enemies, they are protectors of patterns. Your bloodline has been trained to call walls permanent, ceilings normal, and limitations wisdom. To them, impossible is not insult, it is inheritance. Imagine an old photograph, generation after generation, with the same expressions of caution and defeat. That image is why they resist you. They are bound by what they can measure, not what heaven has already decreed. But you, chosen one, were not born to preserve their ceiling. You were sent to break it. Scripture calls you the stone the builders rejected that becomes the cornerstone. Their doubt is evidence that you carry a frequency they cannot recognize. Your role is not to argue with them, but to step into resonance with heaven. Don't shrink because their eyes are blind. Blindness to light does not cancel the sunrise. If this is true for you, comment, "I am the breaker of patterns." And take a moment to share this with someone who has been discouraged by family voices. Because together, we build a community that refuses to surrender to the psychology of lack. And once you see their words for what they are, patterns, you can stop explaining and let evidence do the talking. Stop explaining. Start demonstrating. You don't owe anyone an explanation for a miracle that only evidence can prove. Your life will not be defended by arguments, but by fruit. Think of a courtroom where voices argue endlessly, but then one piece of evidence is placed on the table, and the whole room falls silent. That is what God is preparing in you. For every relative who mocks, your future testimony will silence them without a word. Evidence speaks louder than explanation. You don't need to convince them, results will. A new job that makes no sense, healing they swore was impossible, peace that no storm can destroy. These become your defense. And remember, counterfeit prosperity collapses, but real favor endures. The blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no sorrow with it. Start keeping a record, your evidence journal. Write down every sign, every open door, every shift in peace. Over time, this record will be your courtroom archive, the file heaven uses to silence doubt. If you agree with this, type, "Let the fruit speak." And in the comments, name one small piece of evidence you've already seen. Because when you put it in writing, you give permission for heaven to multiply it. And this is where we move deeper into the markers that reveal if what you're walking in is truly divine. How do you know it's God and not just luck? Chosen one, not every open door is divine. Some doors are traps dressed as opportunities. Here are 4 markers that prove your breakthrough is God sent. First, it carries peace, even in chaos. Imagine walking through a storm while your heart feels unshaken. That peace is heaven's signature. Second, it lifts others, not just you. A true breakthrough makes room for your family, your community, and even strangers who will never know your name. Third, it defies logic yet aligns with Scripture. When the numbers don't add up, yet provision still arrives, that is divine mathematics. Fourth, it endures. A counterfeit blessing shines for a moment and then collapses. But when God moves, fruit multiplies across seasons. Which of these 4 markers have you seen? Comment it below and declare it boldly. And if you're still waiting, write, "I am ready for the real breakthrough." Don't just scroll by, engage now, because your agreement is your alignment. And if these markers are clear, then you also understand why silence was never absence. It was construction. What looked like delay was design. Think back to the seasons where nothing moved. Prayers unanswered, the doors closed, the nights filled with questions. You called it delay, heaven called it architecture. Just as a cathedral requires scaffolding hidden behind tarps, your silence was the scaffolding of destiny. Picture a seed buried in soil. To outsiders it looks like death, but underground roots are weaving strength. That was you. Silence was not punishment, it was preparation. And when the unveiling comes, the structure stands strong because it was built in secret. Every no you faced, every tear you shed was another brick in your foundation. And now, chosen one, you are not fragile, you are fortified. If this resonates, type, "Silence shaped me," and lift your faith higher. Like this video, subscribe and share it forward, because someone else is standing in silence right now and they need to know it is building strength, not failure. And when the silence ends, what comes next is stewardship, not spectacle. Proof that what you carry was never just for you. This blessing wasn't given for show. Chosen one, when the breakthrough arrives, remember this: God didn't trust you with favor so you could flaunt it. He trusted you to steward it. Think of rivers. They never drink their own water. They carry it outward to nourish everything in their path. That's your assignment. The increase in your life is not for vanity, it is for legacy. Wealth without wisdom is poverty in disguise. But blessing with purpose multiplies beyond generations. Imagine planting an orchard. You may only enjoy the shade of a few trees, but your children and grandchildren will walk through forests of abundance because you managed the seed well. This is why pride is dangerous. The moment you turn blessing into spectacle, it begins to crumble. But the moment you turn blessing into stewardship, it becomes eternal. If this stirs you, write in the comments, "I choose stewardship." And let this video be your reminder. Subscribe so you stay anchored, and consider sowing through super thanks, not as a transaction, but as a declaration that you will use what is given for impact. And now we arrive at the heart of this word, the conclusion where everything comes together. When family says impossible, God says done. Look around you. The disbelief of others is not your defeat. It is the stage God uses to display His glory. What your family calls impossible will become undeniable evidence in front of their eyes. The silence was never wasted. The markers are already showing. The fruit is ready to speak, and now it is your turn to rise. Chosen one, this is the hour to stop apologizing for your calling and start walking in it. Do not shrink when they mock. Stand taller. Your breakthrough is not random. It is prophetic. It carries the weight of generations. Can you feel it? This is bigger than you. When you rise, you carry others with you. Your obedience is rewriting bloodline history. And now heaven asks, will you believe enough to act? Speak it in the comments. Type 77 as a seal that you refuse to miss what God has already done. Like this video if you agree that the impossible is about to turn. Subscribe so you don't miss the next confirmation word, and share this with someone who needs proof that their silence was never wasted. Final scene, picture yourself standing at a threshold, behind you the whispers of impossible, before you the thunder of done. And as you step forward, know this: your legacy has begun, your testimony is rising, and your story will preach louder than any sermon. This is your moment. The impossible has already bowed. Now walk boldly because heaven has moved.